Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Influence Economy podcast. I'm your host, Shayna Davis. Thank you so much for being here. And before we get started, I would love if wherever you're listening to this episode, that you would take a screenshot, share that screenshot on your social media. And then I just want to hear your biggest aha moment or your biggest takeaway from this episode. And the reason why I do that is because, in my opinion, I feel like far too many women are living beneath their profit potential. Living beneath their profit potential. And everybody just doesn't know where to start in order to change that. And so, the more times that these episodes are shared, the more people can be exposed to the shifts that are going to be taught to adopt their influence as an asset. Because if you've been around here any amount of time, you know that I am big on influence being treated as an asset. I'm big on actually owning your influence on your terms. So thank you in advance for being willing to do that. All right, let's get real. If you're visible, talented, and experienced, but still walking out of high stake pitches with a polite, we'll think about it instead of a signed agreement, you're leaving serious money and momentum on the table. And here's the thing, it's probably not because your idea is bad or your product is bad. It's because the way you're presenting it is tanking your chances before the deal is even on the table. So today, I'm breaking down the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make when pitching big deals. Mistakes that don't just cost you contracts, but credibility. They can actually ruin your chances in the future of ever being able to get a big deal. And it doesn't matter whether you're pitching a corporate sponsor, a retail distributor, a media partnership, or a strategic collaboration, these mistakes are deal killers across the board. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to avoid them so you walk into the room as the obvious choice, not the risky gamble. So here we go. Hope you got your pen and your paper ready. Here we go. Mistake number one, going in cold. Here is the fastest way to lose a deal before you start, and that is not doing your homework. Too many entrepreneurs walk into a pitch thinking that their passion will carry them through. And spoiler alert, it won't. It doesn't matter how passionate you are about this, how great your product or idea is. If you're not doing your homework before you go in, I like to say people don't care unless you tell them why they should care. And the reason why they should care is usually what's going to be in it for them. So when you're pitching a big deal, you're stepping into their world, not inviting them into yours. And so that means that you need to know who the decision makers are and what pressures they're under, what's happening in their industry right now, the business goals they've already committed to this quarter or year, and the risk they're trying to mitigate. If you can't articulate how your proposal or how your idea or product moves the needle for them in the context of what's on their plate right now, you're not ready to pitch. Just hold off. I don't want you ruining your first impressions or your first chances. Mistake number two, talking like a seller, not a partner. And this one stings because I've made it myself. When you walk in and you start leading with your resume, your track record, or your product features, you've already positioned yourself as a vendor. And that's not good because vendors, they get shopped for price, whereas partners get invested in. A seller says, here's what I do and here's what I charge. But a partner says, here's the problem that I see in your world. Here's the cost of not fixing it. And here's the outcome we can create together through my idea, my product, or my service, or my partnership. And this shift alone can take you from the maybe pile to the how fast can we get started pile. Mistake number three, drowning them in details. For the love of God, I don't know why we think we have to share so much information instead of just focusing on what really matters. Actually, more information is actually going to give them analysis paralysis and cause them not to move forward, to have more questions, to feel like they need more information, to feel like they have to talk to other people. Big mistake? Yeah, treating a pitch like a training. You think you're providing value, but really you're overwhelming them. And high level decision makers, they don't want to be educated on everything you can do. They just want clarity on the problem you solve, the measurable result, and the path to get there. That's it. So save the in the weeds explanations for after the deal is signed, even if they want it then. Right now, your job is to create confidence, not confusion. Mistake number four, neglecting the follow up strategy. We've all heard that the fortune is in the follow up. And one of the mistakes that I see that I think is one of the most expensive mistakes is no follow up plan. You walk out of a meeting, you send one thank you email, and then crickets. A no today isn't a no forever. It's often just a no, not right now. Your follow up should be designed to keep you relevant and valuable without being pushy. So that means sending industry insights that they can actually use, updates on related results you've created, invitations to relevant events or conversations. I like to say be in front of them in a way that is going to give them value, even if that value is not something that you have created. Sometimes it's, hey, Sam, I saw this article that I think that you might find really helpful in your line of work. And so that way you are doing what I think is the main goal is staying in their line of sight so that when timing or budget changes that you're actually the first call that they make because you've been top of mind without always waving the flag of like, I'm here, pick me, pick me. Mistake number five, selling a transaction instead of a relationship. The biggest deals aren't just contracts, they're partnerships. If you show up acting like this is a one and done, you're making yourself easy to replace. High value partners think in terms of multi year, multi touch, mutually beneficial relationships. That's why when you pitch, you should be planting seeds for future wins like cross promotions, long term retainers, co branded initiatives, expanded scope over time. Because if they see you as a strategic asset, they won't just say yes once, they'll keep saying yes. And a lifetime client is always going to be so much more valuable for you than always having to find new clients. It's actually more expensive to acquire new clients than it is for you to continue to sell to the ones that you already have and that you already have access to. So in closing, here's the truth. Landing big deals isn't about having the best idea in the room or having the best product. It's about showing up as the most strategic, lowest risk, highest return partner that they have access to. And when you avoid these mistakes, going in cold, sounding like a seller, drowning in them in details, ghosting the follow up, and treating it like a transaction, you start positioning yourself that way. If you're serious about learning how to pitch and close the kinds of deals that change your revenue, your reputation, and your reach, then let's talk. If you're serious about this and you're serious about investing in your next, send me a DM on Instagram at Shayna Rattler Davis and tell me that you've listened to this episode. We'll chat there about where you are now, what kinds of deals you want to land, and what it would look like for me to help you get there faster and with less guesswork. Because the right deal at the right time with the right pitch can change everything. So, again, be willing to share this episode, and I hope that you will go back and listen to previous and future episodes as well. Have a great day. Bye bye.